Hello everybody and welcome to Gene's Reviews from a regular dude, where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels, occasionally I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want. Hey everybody, what's up? How about another one from Top 5 Scary? This one is Top 5 People Who Summoned a Demon. I like this channel, this Top 5 Scary. They have all kinds of different stuff. I'll put the link to it in the description down below. I've done videos on them before. But this is Top 5 People Who Actually Summoned a Demon.
Welcome back to Most Amazing Top 5. My name is Jack Finch and today I'll be your host as we cover 5 teenagers who summoned a demon. Now, sometimes some things are just better left alone. We've all heard stories of friends practicing with Ouija boards. Maybe they witnessed a glass fly across the room, but you know, do you ever really believe them? A lot of kids these days have a pretty overactive imagination, and it's easy to get caught up in the mysticism of the occult. But in reality, none of them are going to be accidentally summoning Belial or the Demogorgon, or are they? Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Leave us a comment of any creepy Ouija board stories that you've had. Without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Coming in at number 5, we have the sinister story of Clara Germana Selle. In 1906, Clara was a student at St. Michael's Mission in South Africa. She was reportedly an orphan of African origin, but had been baptized as an infant, and at just 16 years old, Clara made a pact with Satan. She later went on to reveal what she'd done to the overseeing priest, Father Horner Erasmus, but in an account written by a nun, it was already too late. Clara was reported to be able to speak in languages that she had no previous knowledge of. Witnesses reported that she could speak and understand Polish, German, French, and any other language that they could throw at her. It was also reported that she had become clairvoyant, revealing many of her neighbors' most intimate of secrets. On top of this, she had seemed to have gained an extraordinary strength and a violent temper. She threw nuns around the room as if they were dolls, and it was reported that her screams resembled a savage beast, with one nun reporting that they sounded like a hellish choir. Well, the priest soon stepped in, and Father Erasmus performed an exorcism on Clara.
I'm sure that picture he showed was Annalise Michel from, it's a story from a movie called The Exorcism of Emily Rose, that was kind of based on the actual, real Annalise Michel. So that picture they showed, they kind of screwed up on that. But, yeah, that's a good movie. If you haven't checked it out, that's a good show. A lot of it takes place as a trial in a courtroom to just determine whether she was mentally ill or whether she was really possessed. But it's a good movie if you haven't seen it. It's called The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
It lasted an incredible 2 days.
That's her again, too. That's Annalise Michel.
Clara was reported to knock the Bible from the priest's hand and attempt to choke him with his own shawl. Next up at number 4, we have the bizarre story of Ronald Doe. Now, people claim that the story of Ronald Doe is the true inspiration for the classic horror film The Exorcist. The story begins in the late 1940s.
It was originally a boy.
Ronald, who was 13 years old at the time, was traumatized by the loss of his beloved aunt, Harriet. His aunt was a spiritualist who had a fascination with the occult, and she taught him many things, including how to properly use a Ouija board. You know where this is going, right? Hoping to contact his recently dead aunt, Ronald set about using the Ouija board to make contact with her. Well, someone else picked up the call. In early 1949, Ronald began to experience strange things. Scratching sounds coming from around the house, water dripping out of the walls, and then he witnessed his mattress flip over by itself. Scratches began to appear on the boy's body with the letter X, which led priests to believe that he'd been possessed by 10 demons. That's pretty unlucky. After months and months of grueling exorcisms, Ronald actually survived the ordeal after reportedly witnessing a vision of St. Michael defeating Satan's armies on a great battlefield. Good job. Bringing us in at number 3, we have the tale of the Theammons family. Now, this story is pretty weird, but whatever the true outcome, it led to one of the strangest cases ever handled by the US Department of Child Services, and many of its events are detailed in an 800-page report. It happened it's weird, let's jump in. In 2014, mother of three, Theammons, claimed to police officials that her children had been possessed by demons. A pretty strong claim for anyone. But, well, when a social worker and a hospital nurse came to check on the children, they witnessed Latoya's 9-year-old son walking backwards up a wall. Now, that's not all. Latoya says that the strange tale began with flies.
That's
Wherever
when
the
you
children would
whip
be,
out your
there'd be
phone
a swarm of big, ugly flies that followed them. And despite constant cleaning and repellent, they were still there. They'd also witnessed her 12-year-old daughter levitating above her bed, unconscious. Seeking the aid of a priest, the children were reportedly violent and aggressive. They spoke in grave, beast-like tones, and the priest believed that the children had been taken into possession by a demon named Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies. The police officer who had led the case publicly stated that it was the strangest, most unexplainable thing that he'd ever seen. No kidding. Next up at number 2, we have the story of Anna Eklund. Now, this insane story of demonic possession reportedly lasted over several decades and followed her through her teenage years and most of her adult life. Born in 1882 in the United States Midwest, Anna had exhibited demonic possession symptoms since the age of 14. Raised in a Catholic household, Anna began to show strange signs during her adolescent years. She developed a disgust for holy objects, and it was also reported that she had a physical inability to enter a church. It is thought by the time Anna was 26, she was fully possessed by at least 7 demons. During a 23-day-long exorcism, dozens of people witnessed Anna do some pretty insane stuff. While she was unconscious, strange voices would talk in unknown languages. She would often vomit tobacco leaves and foreign spices, and she would verbally assault the people present with sins that they had committed in their childhood. It is believed that Anna's first brush with the demonic arts came from her aunt Mina, who was a reputed local witch, and would supposedly prepare Anna's food with strange herbs. The amount of records on Anna Eklund is insane, and her case is considered by paranormal scholars as the most abundantly documented case of possession in the 20th century. And finally, at number 1, we have the true story of Estefania Lazzaro. And number 1 spot is the real story that inspired the Netflix hit horror film Veronica. You guys seen it? Pretty good. Now, Estefania's brush with demons remains to be one of Spain's most mysterious unsolved criminal cases. According to her parents, Estefania had developed a slight interest in the occult, which gradually led the teenager to perform a seance at school with her friends. According to a witness, they were attempting to contact the boyfriend of one of the girls who had recently died in a motorcycle accident. And you guys guessed it, they used a Ouija board. What happened next was a series of unexplainable events that occurred over a 6-month stretch. Estefania would descend into a strange version of herself, often having wild seizures and visions, and she would snap into fits of violent rage, snarling and barking like a beast at her younger siblings. After months of torment, she mysteriously passed away in her bedroom. Her death was unexplained. Her parents later reported walking past her bedroom at night and seeing strange, evil-looking, shadowy people. And then, on the evening of November 27th, 1990, police received a frantic telephone call from the Lazzaro household. Her parents reported tall shadow people that had entered their home, and they were terrified to go back inside. As police entered the house, they felt the same eerie presence that had plagued her parents. And as they entered Estefania's room, they found a crucifix in the middle of the floor and a poster that had been shredded by claws. They witnessed furniture quickly shifting across the room and doors rapidly slamming. And in the living room, on the floor, was a picture of Estefania that had fallen off the wall and ignited itself on fire, but only the photograph was burned. The frame, including the glass, didn't have a single scratch on it. That's all we've got time for today. We hope you've enjoyed this video.
If I walked into a place and all that shit was going on, you wouldn't catch me, because I'd be running out that door so quick.
I should say limping out that door.
That was top 5 people who summoned a demon from top 5 scary videos. I like this guy. I like him as a narrator. I think he's really good. I like his accent and everything too. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of that. Now, you want to hear a joke? 2 hunters are in the woods when one of them collapses. The hunting buddy immediately calls 911 and says, "Hey, my friend, he isn't breathing. What should I do? The person says, relax, relax, take it easy. I can help. First, let's make sure that he's not breathing. Then there's silence and a gunshot. And the guy comes back on the phone and says, okay, now what? Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.